discussion.
Yes.
Welcome to the Wholesome Music
Podcast.
Okay, so my name is Augustus Watkins. I am a musician. I have a record label. I do traditional PR. I can do some designing, and I'm looking for work right now.
Ooh, spicy.
Yeah.
My name's Cam LJ. You're here with us at Secret Spot DTLA. I do recording, photography, videography, and creative production. I'll also help you out with a little development if that's what you need. Anyway, let's get into our topics for this week.
So we're going to talk. This is kind of the money episode.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about day jobs. What was that?
Gotta get the money.
I got nervous when you did that. I don't like that. I actually really like that. I'm not. We're going to talk about day jobs. We're going to talk about why they matter. We're going to talk about some ways you can make money in the music industry. Spoiler alert, it's not easy.
It's not.
We're going to talk about vinyl.
Yes.
We're going to talk about the costs of cutting vinyl. We're going to talk about some updates related to the fucking tariffs as they relate to vinyl. And finally, we're going to get into it about our favorite subject.
Suno and Udio.
Fucking AI.
I love AI. Don't you love
We
AI?
love AI.
AI is the best,
So
guys.
stick around to see how much we love AI this week. Let's talk about the music industry.
Let's talk about the music industry.
Specifically about how everybody in the music industry has a day job.
Oh, yes. You either have a day job or you got a daddy.
Yeah. You have neither. You've managed to
No.
make this thing work, but the way that you do that, which is I think what we're going to eventually lead to, the way you do that in the music industry is you serve people.
Yeah, I do like group housing essentially.
Yeah.
Like it's like I'm like a little mini communist cohort.
Hell yeah. I'm here for that. So I think we'll get into that.
But even here, it's struggle.
Yeah.
You know, even here, like there's ups and downs. You got to have the support to right the ship.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the ship doesn't float.
Yeah, sometimes the waters are choppy.
Yes, they are.
So when I was getting started in this is something that, and this may be really obvious to some people, but maybe I'm like the only person who didn't understand this.
I don't think so.
When I was getting started in this world, in this business, in this industry, I really honestly thought that I was like a failure because I had day jobs. Yeah. And I was ashamed of it, and there were decisions that I made that I probably would have made differently if I would have understood that it was normal to have a day job. Yeah. I thought that because I wanted it so bad that having a day job was like a sign of failure. Yeah. And just like looking back for myself, I would say that the truth is, if you want it bad enough to work a day job for it, then you really want it.
Then you're really in it.
Because you can't just have any old job and be an artist.
No, you can't. You need things that are going to give you the flexibility so that you can create things that aren't going to take all of your physical and emotional energy. Yeah. So that after you're done, you still, like, not just that you have time to create, but you have the capacity to create after work.
Yeah. Something that if you have it's pretty tough to do this with like a regular ass office job. Yeah. People do it.
I've seen people do it. Yeah. I've seen it done, but it's very difficult and it's a small quadrant.
And then you pay the price for it if you want to be, so like serving tables is like kind of like the obvious cliche, right? Yes. Bartending, but it gives you that flexibility and the economy is shifting, so what was true for us coming up might be different now, so leave comments about
what's working for you.
But I just wanted to highlight that people you hear on the radio go back to work at day jobs.
Yes, absolutely.
People you go and spend $35, $40, $55 to go see a Terragram or First Avenue, they get off the road and they go back to day jobs. Yes. They teach music.
Or they supplement. That's something I want, is supplementation. Yeah. So maybe you want to be a producer. Yep. And you think, I'm going to make all my money recording and then I'm going to do mastering and that's it. That's going to be my thing. That's what I love doing. Yep. But you might need to supplement your jobs. Even if you want it, it's possible for you to supplement jobs that are still within your interest. Like maybe you can teach guitar lessons. Yep. Maybe you can Maybe you can teach, you can engineer for other people, you can do photos. That's something that's helped me like make more stability, is like it's still music adjacent. You know, if I'm shooting photos for someone who's also making music, I'm still wedging myself in.
And what's amazing about that, to build on that, is like the reason we're here doing this is because you and I both have a photo and video background.
Yes. Yeah, because audio and video goes together.
Because we figured it out. Yeah. Like, that's part of the gig. Like there are people there's some people that come to the open mic that we're like, you and I both know, who are like figuring it out, and they're doing it by making music videos, and they're doing it by shooting content and doing stuff, or like being a social media manager. Like if you have a strength, you can build. I made websites because I was like that was one thing. It's like less. This is like from an era before social media had like really homogenized, and like Linktree wasn't good, and like Squarespace didn't exist.
Well, half of the time, I remember like the websites we would used to build back in the day were like a landing page.
Exactly.
Where you could come to get all my links in one place. And now it's so easy to get all those links.
So I learned a bunch of skills as a web designer and a web developer, and that's been my day job for largely for a long time. Because they served me as a musician.
Is that still your day job today?
No, I am hella unemployed today. I am deeply unemployed.
Would that be your chosen day job?
No, absolutely not. But
what do you think for you, or for anybody listening, what do you think the best day job would be?
Oh, God. Rich kid?
Rich kid. Hey, I'll take that. Hello, Daddy.
I mean, I think if you at the time, as coming up, I had this feeling like which is why I wanted to talk about this. I had this feeling like if I was taking gigs, that I wasn't a real artist. Yeah. Which is a weird thing. And I think like you come to LA and that doesn't exist anymore. That doesn't exist here. But like in the Midwest, I had this feeling like if I was doing church gigs or whatever, like, which is like playing at church, was a lot of musicians play at church.
There are a lot of people who come up playing in the church.
I would say that's definitely if I was 19, 20, one of the things I would.
14?
Yes. I did when I was like 14, 15. But
did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I came up Christian rock.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
You know how it is, but you had a guess, right?
Of course, yeah.
I would say like if I was going to start out now, the thing is I don't necessarily know the conditions now because I'm at an advanced age. But,
we're elder millennials.
But I would definitely be taking church gigs.
Yes.
Which is either if I'm accompanying people or playing bass or playing. I did mix a little bit for churches.
Yep.
Playing bass, playing guitar, playing drums, singing and because. The secret that I didn't understand, and I knew people who had done it, but it just didn't click, was everybody else taking those church gigs, they're also gigging musicians.
Yes, they are.
It's a great way to unlock.
To network.
Yeah. Yes. I would consider getting more into live mixing. That's hard on your ears, and a lot of times the money isn't great, but I would have done that.
It's competitive too.
Yeah. Graphic design was something that I was able to do. Video, like we talked about, some of the gigs that I was able to do. Now I'm at the point I make posters.
Yeah.
I can do I can do
logos.
Yeah, I can do your band logo.
Which are fire.
So there's this So there's a skill set that I've got. And I was never called to be I never felt the calling to be an engineer. Yeah. But you did.
Yes, I did.
Talk about that.
So, well, before I get into that, I've had a lot of interesting day jobs. I was a music salesman at a music around, so like a Guitar Center essentially. Yeah. So I would buy people's used instruments and then sell them.
What was that like? Was that
awful and soulless?
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, because if you ever gone to eBay and then you see like what something is like selling for, that's not what we're gonna pay you. We're going to pay you for the completed listing sale, and then we're going to pay you half of that of the completed listing sale. Yeah. So even if there are like, say you brought me like a Gibson Les Paul Custom US, and it sells for like you got it for $3,000, I can offer you probably $500. Right. And you know that you paid $3,000, and I know that you paid $3,000, and I know I'm gonna sell it for $1,500. but I can't give you $1,500 because
that's the gig.
Yeah. And so it felt soulless, but I did it for like a year and a half, and it was, it gave me a lot of experience working with instruments. It helped me like repair. There's a repair shop in the store, so I got a ton of experience stringing 1,000 guitars a day. Hey, let me like tune the truss rod. Let me like just make sure everything is functional, like reset things.
And those skills, I imagine, helped you in the studio.
Yeah. Very much so.
Helped you get gigs.
Yeah. But I've had less exciting day jobs too. I served pizza. I was a pizza chef.
Classic.
I literally at a place called Classic Pizza.
Nice.
Just for the story, they did get shut down for selling drugs. So
nice.
But yeah, no, during all of those times I was still engineering. Engineering for me, I got into because I thought it would be the most stable. To be totally fair, I didn't get into engineering because I was like, this is what I love so much. I did. I fell in love with it after doing it. But I came to it because I was not as great of a trumpet performer. I was not as great of a classical musician or even a jazz musician as all the other people around me. But I knew that I could record them. And so I had this where I could build some financial stability for me while I was still trying to get my chops together.
You went to music school.
I did.
Is that something you would recommend generally to people? How do you think about that?
I think if you have disposable income, it's a great place. If you have a college fund, a trust fund, and you're going to go to any college, sure, go to school for music. Don't expect it to get you hired. Don't expect it to improve your job prospects. But the one thing I would say about going to music school is it will improve your network. So all of the people that you meet when you're at a music specific school are going to be people who are just like you, who are like, yo, I really want to make music. I don't know exactly what I'm doing yet, but like, I really want to do this. Do you really want to do this too? And now you can track those people down.
And maybe they're going to put you on. I'm thinking of somebody who just went out, who's now getting like hella gigs as like session. He just did a world tour as what they used to call sideman. I don't know what they call that now.
Like, session musician, side guy, whatever.
Side person. Who just went on like a hella world tour for a pretty big name pop band. I'm just gonna keep it anonymous. And he came up out of Berkeley.
Oh yeah, absolutely, amazing school.
So like it happens.
It does.
My sense is like if you're considering music school. We've talked about this before, but like I used to meet a lot of pizza delivery drivers.
Yes.
I went to music school.
Yeah, the music industry to pizza man delivery pipeline is so real.
That's a pipeline, yeah. That's a straight conveyor belt.
It really is, and like that's okay.
It's fine.
That's kind of okay. I think if you do really want to go to music school, I would say take advantage of the network and maybe don't complete all 4 years. It's maybe like. Do it as I toured music school, I went through, I served my time there, and then if you're looking for stability from your college education, maybe don't choose music or the arts, maybe choose something like more STEM oriented.
If you want stability. If your heart, and you're watching this because your fucking heart is calling you to make music, so that advice is going to fall on deaf ears, then at least be really, really thoughtful really clear about what you want to do and thoughtful about it, what it is. And something I think maybe a key word here is you're going to need to be entrepreneurial.
Yes. Say that again.
And
that again. You're going to need to be entrepreneurial.
And this is the thing is like, and we kind of talked about like why, like in previous episodes, you should go back and listen about like what makes a good like session musician. We talked about that I think in episode 2 or 3, like what makes a good session. And so like go back to the previous episodes and learn that, because like take some education, take some what they call soft skills.
Yes,
in the
absolutely.
Industry.
That's one of your like we talked about. That's probably the most important skill for you if you want to be in the studio. You want to be an engineer. You want to be a producer. You want to be a side musician. Those are going to be the skills you rely on. Are you a good hang? Is it fun for me to work with you? Do I feel safe expressing myself when I'm here?
So like overall, I just want to leave people with an impression that like, if you've been in this for 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 years, you're just getting into it and you're like, how do I make money? Look, like girl, you're not. You don't. And so like, don't be ashamed about a side job, a side hustle. Don't be ashamed about a day gig. Figure it out. But I will also. This is a little bit paradoxical, but one of the things when people say like my kid is, or I'm thinking I'm 17 and I'm thinking about music, or my kid wants to be a musician. One of the things I will say is, do not have a plan B.
Yeah.
Just don't have a plan B.
Yeah.
Because plan B will inevitably become plan A.
Yes.
Just do not have a plan B.
You know, I think that goes to another thing, which is the music industry is an incredibly long game.
Yeah.
The music industry is a team sport, and it's an incredibly long race. It's not something where you can do, I did so well, I sped run my career, and now in 1 year I became famous. Look at that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, don't be looking at famous 25-year-olds when you're 26 thinking
it's over for me.
Shot.
No, it's not. I would say, you know, if you can plan for that longevity, plan to be doing this for... I think the healthiest mindset that I find when I work with musicians is like, do you see yourself as a student of music?
Yeah.
Because you are never going to be the best. Like John Mayer isn't the best. Taylor Swift isn't the best. All of these people who we think of as like the pinnacle, they're not the best. They're they're still studying music, as in they're still trying to get better.
Yeah.
And if you want to make money from it, there are certain things you can do. Some things are going to be more profitable. Like it's always going to be more profitable for you to do something that allows you to get paid. Whether that is selling a service, like selling lessons.
Yep.
Whether that's selling a service like, hey, I'm mastering.
Doing hair.
Yes. Any
hair and makeup, I mean, like,
And hair and makeup for a video.
Managing.
Sync managing. Yeah. Anything that you can do that's music adjacent, that's where the money is.
Don't be too proud to take those jobs, because I was, and I look back now and I say, like, I really kind of I didn't see it as pride, but I just had a misunderstanding about it in my own. It was just a mistake that I'd like just to have all you all.
And I felt the same way.
Yeah.
You know, like working at Music Around or working at any of the places that I did. I worked at the Catholic Charities. All those places I worked at, I'm like, oh well, I'm not like a real producer right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm like kind of doing it sometimes, but I'm not him.
Yeah. What I wrote here at the bottom is, if you want to make a living in the music industry, you're going to have to eat shit.
Yes, a lot.
It's
about how much shit can you eat and how long can you eat it.
And more shit than you think possible to have eaten in some cases.
Well, to be really fair, a lot of the music industry, things that are going to get you, if you don't have a job in the music industry yet and you want it, to be totally fair, how long can you work for free?
Yep.
That is, if you want to work at a label or you want to work in like the highest parts of the music industry, the best way for you is to work for someone for free, to give them a trade of your time, of your energy, of whatever resources you have, and do that until you can build relationships and create a network.
Yep. Want to hear something that I fucked up? I had an opportunity to do web development for a prominent radio station.
Oh wow.
And it wasn't like I was like had the job, but like I didn't pursue it because I thought, this is so silly, but I thought, I don't want them to know me as internet nerd guy. Like I want my reputation to be as somebody who is just a pure musician.
Yeah, and as an artist.
Yeah, and that mentality is kind of what I'm talking about. Is like, that's not gonna help you. Like if you want to, if like pure artists, like that's fucking bullshit. If you want what my reputation would have been potentially is, or like if you're taking some side job in the music industry that you're like, why would I do this? Your reputation is going to be as somebody who's willing to get their hands dirty and get shit done.
Yes.
And who do they call when the opportunities come?
The person who can get it done.
Yeah. So I will say the one last thing was some second advice to somebody who I know who's who's eating shit, working as an engineer as a prominent studio here in LA. Somebody told him, and he told me, and I'll say it to y'all, is if you can imagine yourself doing anything else, go do that.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
But if you truly cannot see another vision for your future, then welcome to the music industry. Come eat shit with us. So we are going to talk about vinyl.
Yes.
Specifically about some things, the money of vinyl.
Yes.
So vinyl being records. Everybody loves vinyl. Everybody
loves
vinyl.
That special sound, right?
Have you ever had anything that's been put on vinyl?
I have.
Really?
I did a record in 2021. And we put it out on vinyl as a special release.
Cool.
And we did it to support the Downtown Women's Center.
Oh, sick. Okay. That's a nice way to do it. I mixed a record for vinyl. I don't think any of my originals are on vinyl. I should have been around some stuff, but I have the record label, Give Take. We do vinyl from time to time.
Yeah.
But this is really telling about vinyl is like somebody who like, I have access to a lot of vinyl infrastructure.
Yes.
Because we have a label, and my own music and my business partner's music, we don't put either of our projects out on vinyl because the economics isn't there for us.
It's tough.
Yeah.
just to be fully transparent, I did this record as a drop ship. So at the time, I had my my single pressed onto vinyl, and you would only get it if you paid for it, and then they'd ship it directly to you.
Okay.
So that worked really well economically.
Was it like a 7-inch?
I think it was full size. It was a full. It might have been 12 inches. Yeah, like the large size.
Yeah.
I think it's 12 inches. Yeah. But it was just on one side of it.
Okay.
It sounded great. The single was a single called Courtship, and I think we made like $70 to give to the Downtown Women's Center. So we definitely weren't getting rich, but I would say it made more money than the song made streaming.
Okay, that's interesting. So this leads us to the article that I brought in. This is actually on the Disc Makers blog. Disc Makers is a prominent vinyl. I will say that we sometimes use them.
Yeah.
The article on their blog was called "If I Press Vinyl, Will I Make My Money Back?" by Tony Van Deen. So I'm just going to kind of read this like we do here. This is going to sound like an ad for fucking Disc Makers, which it's not, but y'all feel free to sponsor us. Our most economical vinyl option at Disc Makers is 100 12-inch LPs in vinyl black with color jackets, shrink wrap for $999. Tack on a UPC barcode for $20, and shipping, which is expensive, it's $150. So the total cost for your project, they estimate just for the manufacturing, about $1,169 or $11.69 per record. So let's call it 12, whatever. If a record costs $11.69 to press and you sell it for $25 each, you make a profit of over $13 on each record you sell, meaning you need to sell just 47 records to make back the full cost of your pressing. So that's interesting economics. You're going to have to, we're just kind of talking about money, but I will mention that you have to master this, especially for vinyl.
Yes.
You cannot just
don't
rip your shit off SoundCloud and then put it on.
Don't put your Ozone Master on vinyl, please. So this is interesting economics, like this, and what you said about like you're gonna make more money off of that than you are streaming. Yeah.
So it's not as if you can come up with $1,200, which I know a lot of y'all can.
Yeah.
Like there's a possibility for you.
Well, let's also really quickly talk about which artist is this right for. Is this right for like your first single?
No.
So maybe this is right for an artist who's middle level.
Who's gigging,
you're performing. Maybe you can sell out a room of 250 people.
Oh yeah.
You might not be able to sell out a room of 800 people or 1,000 people.
Yep.
But you might have those people in your database.
Even if you can get even if you're the kind of person who can string 6, 8, 10, 12 dates together on the road, you should be considering. If you're selling merch, if you're selling T-shirts, you could consider this. If you can come up with $1,200.
This is another revenue stream. I want to briefly interject to talk about an artist I worked with who we tried to press vinyl for, and we ended up not doing it. We wanted to do a custom vinyl release to support disabilities. So we were trying to do vinyl with a Braille insert.
Oh, wow.
So that you could, listen to the music. We actually had a separate master of the song for people who are deaf and feel music. So it was kind of like a bass enhanced boosted version of the song. But for us to press it and the inserts this artist is a younger artist, like under 1,000 fans. It just wasn't realistic.
It's gonna be hella expensive.
But in the future, or for a bigger artist, I think that is something to consider and to think about as another, another revenue stream for your song.
Something the bands do is also they'll do split releases.
Yeah.
So you're splitting the cost. One side of the record is your song, the other side of the record. And then of course there's 7 inches, which is not as economical like the cost, but you can put one song on a 7-inch.
Talk a little bit about that. I've seen 1-inch, I've seen 7-inch, I've seen 12-inch. Tell me a little bit about that.
7-inch is your typical single, and that's like one song per side. There is 10-inch. It's not worth doing because a 10-inch will cost you as much as a 12-inch.
Yes, it will.
And then 12-inch is the typical
gold standard.
There's 45 and 33 and a third. Most things,
45.
Most things are 45, right? Most things are 33 and a third.
I know a bunch of old 45s.
Yeah. So the new stuff is mostly 33 and a third.
Okay.
And you don't have to get the 180 gram super shit. You don't have to get colored marble.
No.
If you can get your shit together and put 10, it's what is it, 50 like it's like 52 minutes tops of music. If you can get 45 50 minutes of music on a vinyl.
Yeah.
But and you can get a whole bunch of people in front of you. You can do it.
So what are some places, if I'm an artist wanting to print vinyl, where can I go?
Well, I don't know. You're going to have to spend the time. I'm not willing to endorse anybody to that level.
Yeah.
A lot of vinyl, and we're going to get to this, a lot of vinyl is manufactured overseas and then shipped here. A lot of it is in Canada.
There aren't that many places that can actually press vinyl in the U.S.
Yeah,
I think there's two. There's United, and there used to be a second one, but I think the only one I can think of is United.
They just opened one. Disc makers. But sorry, Copycats in Minneapolis just opened.
Yes, that's right. I forgot about
they're like
that.
the third now. That's Jack White's joint down in what's his third man? No, Third Man.
Third Man, isn't it?
Yeah, they
Third
can
Man
press,
Studios.
They can press. So
United Masters can press.
Yep.
And Third Man and
I think it's the spot in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
So
and that's everybody.
But like, so you don't have to get it manufactured in the U.S. We're going to talk about tariffs in a second. They kind of talked about like the steps to selling vinyl, which is I wanted to say is like the steps to is like selling merch at your shows. Yes. And so I think this is worth just really quickly ask for the sale, encourage people to buy, like just tell them, hey, can you buy this? Like fucking ask them.
Yeah.
Tell the story behind your record. Would not just, hey, I have music. Like, why is this music on vinyl? Have a clear call to action. This is a callback. We talked about calls to action earlier on our episode about social media for people who don't want to do social media. Post an unboxing video. That's nice. Which is like
show the product to people
and make content around it.
Yeah.
Perform with other artists. Play fucking shows. Sit at your merch table.
Yes.
My God. Figure it out.
Even if you have to get someone to sit there for you, even if you have to get a merch person, hire a buddy, let them be the person, let them serve their time working for free for you.
Yep.
Let someone get a chance to get into a venue with you, sit at your table, sell your merch, but don't have it just sitting there alone.
Yeah.
Like
it'll never sell. They'll never come find you. It doesn't matter.
Don't have a QR code.
No.
Don't have a QR code that says buy my vinyl.
Yeah.
Bring physical copies to your shows.
And sit at the merch table and do these things that we're talking about. Create a limited edition. Release your physical album before distributing. So make the physical copy and then drop the digital to streaming later. So these are just some ideas. This is from Disc Makers. They obviously have a dog in the race because they manufacture vinyl.
Yeah.
But pretty good advice.
Yeah. I believe, can you have, and I might be wrong about this, so don't hold me to this, but can you make vinyl through Bandcamp?
They have crowdsourcing, a very half-assed crowdsourcing.
Yeah.
I love Bandcamp, but Bandcamp, like everything you do is half-assed, and it does kind of break my balls sometimes. So they have a crowdsourcing thing where it's like you can be like, oh, I need to make 1,000 or 1,500 to do vinyl, and then you can take that money. They don't. I think for a minute they had some kind of manufacturing thing, but that's to my knowledge that's gone.
Yeah, I think that used to be a thing.
Yeah.
I remember it in the back of my brain somewhere that this was a thing, but I don't think it's still active anymore.
And this is information that you
can go find.
If I would have like done any amount of research on this, but I think Kunaki at least used to.
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
they did.
Yeah, and they might still.
Do they? Yeah, so that's worth finding out.
So it's the quality on Kunaki is kind of weird, but if you just like want to like have the fantasy, just like experience the fantasy of your music on vinyl, which is valid.
There's also at-home vinyl pressing.
Really?
There's a little machine. I believe Teenage Engineering makes a machine that you can make DIY vinyl, and it is real and it works. It doesn't sound the same. It's not gonna be, if you're looking for the highest caliber, this isn't gonna be that. But are you gonna hear your song on vinyl? And I believe it's either 7-inch. It isn't 12-inch.
Okay.
It's smaller presses, so it's probably 7 inches. Yeah. But there's a machine. Search Teenage Engineering vinyl press DIY at home, and you'll find it. It's like $200. But if you're interested in creating kind of a fun experience and you're thinking of vinyl as a merch form for your audience and you want to kind of do it at a low cost, this might be something for you DIYers.
Changing topic, but still sticking on vinyl. This is something that relates to what we're talking about. This was in Music Technology Policy: Why Tariffs Are Quietly Undermining the Vinyl Comeback. Why tariffs are quietly undermining the American vinyl comeback. The resurgence of vinyl records has been one of the most unexpected and encouraging trends in American manufacturing. Across the country, demand for physical music is rising, independent pressing plants are expanding, artists love vinyl releases, and legacy catalogs are being reissued. It's a textbook case of organic industrial renewal. But the system is cracking, and the reason is simple. We've let trade policy punish the very people trying to build things at home. Thanks to long-standing protections for cultural goods, it's easy to import a finished vinyl record into the United States, even during trade emergencies, which is by design. But the raw materials required to press that same record in the U.S. aren't protected. They're subject to tariffs that raise costs. So the result is U.S. manufacturers pay a premium while foreign pressing plants don't face the burden.
Wow.
We're taxing the inputs that build domestic industry while letting the finished imports in for free. Most of the world's supply of vinyl-grade PVC and electroplating nickel comes from countries facing facing U.S. trade penalties, which raises the cost for manufacturers. No domestic lacquer disc production exists. There is no direct metal mastering machines, meaning we are truly reliant on foreign inputs. So
that's so sad.
Yeah, the trade war is can you believe it? Trump did something that didn't work out.
No, he's always so on it.
So what's happening is foreign companies are buying U.S. vinyl operations in order to bypass these tax laws, right?
Wow.
Which this blog describes as not just globalization but vertical consolidation.
Vertical consolidation, yes.
And the point that they make is that this is cultural production. So it's not just the luxury that's a public good, and I think it's like really nice to talk about music as a public good.
Yes. As more than just a product and a consumable.
Yeah, something that you and I feel. Mm-hmm. That music is more than just a consumable. It's like there's a public good. There's a reason to do it. So, just to be aware about that. I don't necessarily have a takeaway. This is an article well worth reading, though.
Yes.
That we got to watch out because it's probably going to make vinyl a little tipsy-turvy. Your Bruce Springsteens are going to be able to afford it, but the people who we're talking to watch the vinyl space because it might be changing.
Yeah, and just to throw back earlier, I was talking about the PhonoCut. It's a little small device you can purchase. It's from the company PhonoCut in collaboration with Teenage Engineering. It's just a little tiny device. I think it's as updated, it's about $1,000.
Okay.
So it's going to be kind of comparable price to what it would be for you to make a few, to make a few of your own vinyl records, but obviously it's more of a DIY.
Yep.
A DIY piece.
Interesting.
Welcome to the Suno Udio update. The seemingly weekly Suno Udio update.
We were talking about this before. Like, I don't even. Maybe if it's not fucking clear. I don't even fucking like AI.
No.
We're talking about it every week, but it matters.
It does matter. It's important.
Yeah. A lot of people are interested in this.
There's a new lawsuit, a class action, for you to get involved in.
So, which is what I had brought. Is that what you had brought?
I'm glad we're on the same brainwave.
I'm glad we're reading the same news.
Yes, we are.
You know what they call that?
An echo chamber.
Suno and Udio hit with class action lawsuits from independent artists by Mandy Dolugdug. This was on musicbusinessworldwide.com.
Yep.
Suno and Udio, I don't care, have been slapped with another round of copyright litigation, this time by country music Tony Justice, who filed class action lawsuits against both controversial AI music generators. The complaints allege Suno and Udio used Justice's recordings and works from, quote, thousands of class members without authorization to train their AI models. Suno is also facing a copyright infringement lawsuit in Germany, which is like, God bless the Europeans. About
yes,
shit like
the
this.
EU, please.
And the Gemma, which is the German version of ASCAP, their collection society. The latest lawsuits against the two AI companies arrive about 2 weeks after Bloomberg reported, citing people familiar with the discussions, that the three majors are seeking, this is what we talked about last week, that the three majors are seeking license fees. And I didn't realize this from the platforms. They're seeking licensing fees and, quote, a small amount of equity.
Yes.
So
this is something that's let's start at the beginning of this. Why do independent artists care? Why should you care about Suno or Udio? And like, really, just as a quick overview, because I know we've talked about this in depth before, but how's this affecting me as an independent artist? I got my music on Spotify. I have my music on SoundCloud. So like, I'm good, right?
You great. End episode.
Fake news.
The thing is, to get a little bit philosophical, the streaming has turned what we once thought of as a product which we bought that had value and cultural value. Streaming has completely trashed all that to the point where now we think of music as just like background noise. And in fact, and famously, Spotify thinks of music as not even sound; they think of it as moment making. It's like they think of it as like they're like, we're in the business of moments, which is to say they're in the business of time. And this is a digression, but basically Bo Burnham talks about this. He's a comedian, how like they've colonized all of Earth and they've taken, so all that there's left to do is colonize time.
Yeah. So that's actually really, really beautiful.
Yeah, incredible. So they're colonizing time. So this is the backdrop, the philosophical backdrop from which we have to understand how they think of music. Yeah. Which is up until Napster and the iPod era, the MP3 era, that is not how music was thought of. Music was thought of as a composition which got sold and a recording which got sold, which is of course still how things.
It's still a product, still something you can sell, but
so we have got so now we come to this world in which you actually pay somebody to put your music out, and I think we'll skip over the debate about what's better, because there are certainly some real advantages to the gates being down and people just being able to put out their music. That's fine.
For the moment, to bring this down back down to earth, I think of how much music has already been scraped. Yeah. So when we're talking about Suno and Udio, these are two platforms that have already scraped. YouTube, Spotify, anywhere your music can be publicly heard, any public music. So if you have your music on SoundCloud, you have your music on Spotify, you have your music on Apple Music or Amazon, wherever it is, that has already been scraped. So that is why, to me, this is an important conversation for independent artists right now.
If I'm making a short film, or I'm making a commercial for the radio station, for the radio, and I want to use your music, if I just go and I just like, just rip your music, put it on my shit, that's illegal.
Yeah, I'll send you a copyright strike, and then I'll probably ask for all of the money that you made.
Right. I need to license your music. And there's lots of ways that music can be licensed. Music licensing is the backbone of the music industry, right? Yeah. So,
really quickly, this is just an add-on. Yeah. But last year, music licensing and publishing made something like $150 billion, if I'm looking at this correctly. I'll have to re-look at this statistic, but it was incredibly high.
So these companies, essentially what they want to do, which is like just fucking everything that big tech does, it's the Uber of music. They're trying to take all that, trying to claim some technicality that what they're doing doesn't require you to follow the traditional licensing model, undercut all that, and then instead of licensing your music to just like, I want a song that sounds like a song that Cam LJ makes. Yeah. Now I could just go online and be like, give me a song that sounds like Cam LJ, and they're going to claim that that's an original composition and that they don't have to license you. So now the Netflix or Target or mega corporations or Donald fucking Trump can just
type in
and take your music and derive something from it without you making any amount of money.
And that's I think where we have this issue with Suno and Udio. I think, music as AI music, we have mixed feelings about, but I think maybe we could coexist in a future where there is AI music, but not without paying artists beforehand because essentially what's happening is all these companies, they're going in, right, acquiring all of this music in bulk without acquiring any licenses, which is why they're facing lawsuits from the major labels as well. So they're training essentially each one of these models has to be trained. Okay. And it has to be trained on an enormous amount of data. It can't just be like 3 or 5 songs. It needs to be like 3 or 5 million songs. Right. And then it can start to kind of build this network that it recreates off of.
So to contrast, like, I'm just going to take 5 million songs and derive a song off of that. Let's think of, there's a story which I can recall about 2 hit songs, Tom Petty's Won't Back Down and Sam Smith's Stay With Me.
Yeah.
Won't back down, won't you stay with me? Right, same song. So if you look at the credits on Stay With Me, Tom Petty is listed as a songwriter because it's his melody, it's his chord progression. This is the way the music industry currently works now.
You had to go, obviously they had to go through a court case to prove that the song was derivative and shared certain certain elements.
This is the Robin Thicke Al Green thing.
Absolutely. And there are a number of these, a huge number of these. And the bigger songwriting sessions you walk into, the more you'll see someone listening to a song and say, hey, I want something like this. Can we recreate in this direction or use this as an example? And I don't personally find an issue with that.
No.
I think that there is space for two things to exist in a similar space.
This has been settled in the music industry. This is Bittersweet Symphony in the Stones, which was a bad example, but at least it or going back to the sampling era of hip hop.
Even the four chords to rule the world. There are so many of these things that were just universal.
Right. So a lot of this stuff is has been settled. The difference is now that we're having computers do it. It's really strange to me that if I want to sample, sample a Shania Twain song or whatever, I have to get permission from Shania Twain to sample her song, and I have to pay a specific license for that because that doesn't get covered on a compulsory license.
No.
But if I want to sample 5 million songs, I don't need to get any permissions?
That's crazy.
How does that fucking make sense?
And how are those artists getting paid?
They're not.
They're not.
Yeah.
That to me is where we have a big issue, and I think where hopefully this lawsuit can help us, this class action suit can help us create some rights for independent music owners, for creators, for even for major label creators, for people who are on a larger label and their music is being consumed by AI and then spat back out. You should be able, and we should live in a world, I think, maybe this is a hot take, I don't think it's that hot, but
lay it on me.
I think we should be able to live in a world where music can be recreated in an appropriate way, and the people who do it can get credited. So if you I think it would be cool to be in a world where you could type into AI, hey, I want Adam Levine, I want a Maroon 5 song what's the Sunday song? It's
Sunday Morning.
Sunday Morning, but I want to hear it about Tuesdays. That's fine. If you're gonna pay, if
they get paid off of that.
If they get paid off of that, cool. You can have the Tuesday morning rain is falling. I don't care. You can have that, but someone's got to get paid and someone's got to get credited for their original content.
So let's pivot about AI, because we're gonna talk about this a lot, and you and I both fucking hate it. But this is an article. This came from MIT. And this is the name of the research paper: Your Brain on ChatGPT: Accumulation of Cognitive Debt when Using an AI Assistant for Essay Writing Task. The research scientist's name is Natalia Kosmina, and so this is not about music, but I think we can see the writing on the wall. The study explores neural and behavioral consequences of LLM-assisted essay writing, which is ChatGPT.
Large language models.
Participants were divided into 3 groups: LLM, search engine, which is your Googles, and brain only. Each completed 3 sessions under the same conditions. In a 4th session, LLM users were reassigned to brain only, which is now you never wrote anything, now you got to write something, and then brain only were reassigned to LLM. They assessed, they analyzed, they scored essays. The results are significant differences in brain connectivity. Brain-only participants exhibited the strongest, most distributed networks. Search engine users showed moderate engagement, and LLM users displayed the weakest connectivity. Cognitive activity scaled down in relation to external tool use. Not to divert it too much, but human beings are designed to preserve energy, and so we're always going to use a tool. That's just an evolutionary feature of human beings.
Absolutely.
But The LLM to brain participants showed reduced alpha and beta connectivity, indicating under-engagement. Brain to LLM users exhibited higher memory recall. LLM users also struggled to accurately quote their own work.
Yes.
While LLMs offer immediate convenience, our findings highlight potential cognitive costs. Over 4 months, LLM users consistently underperformed at neural, linguistic, and behavioral levels, and I would imagine that would apply to your fucking songwriting, or your mixing, right?
Absolutely.
These results raise concerns about the long-term educational implications of LLM reliance and underscore the needs for deeper inquiry into AI's role in learning. Mic drop.
Yes. I read this earlier this week, and I thought about this. Anytime that you prompt something, anytime that you create something without writing it out, without actually doing the work, you're going to use less of your brain.
Yeah.
Essentially, what this comes down to is when you use AI, you're not using your brain.
You're not.
And you're going to, any muscle, like let's say you love to go to the gym, you love to do like, you work out your
I work out
biceps,
a lot, so you're,
you know, these
big muscles,
these big guns, you know.
Guys.
But let's say that's what you do. You work out your biceps.
Which
that's your favorite thing to do. Yeah. Tuesdays is bicep day.
Hell yeah.
And let's say you take 3 weeks off.
Yep.
Before you took the break, you could lift 220 pounds.
That's incredible biceps.
You got really strong biceps. If you now start, not doing that,
you'll lose that strength.
You'll lose that strength.
Yep.
The same thing with, like, is it to say that we're gonna get dumber?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think we'll also just atrophy.
Yeah.
We're not using the muscle. It doesn't mean you couldn't rebuild it if you started doing those activities again yourself.
Yeah.
But in the time that you're prompting, that you're doing this, you're not learning. You're not going to have the same gains as an artist that you would if you, say, sat down with your guitar and wrote out the chord progressions. If you reach out to ChatGPT and say, give me a fun chord progression for a pop song, it's not going to give you the same growth or retention of using. Exactly.
Yep. Yeah, so I think the takeaway here is if you care about the crafts of songwriting, or the craft of performing, or the craft of mixing, or the craft of arranging, or any sort of, like, if you have an emotional connection to this stuff, be very hesitant about using these tools, and be very hesitant of people who are evangelizing the use of these tools.
Yes.
Like Timbaland, I'm sorry, but like he's not gonna have made those hits that he made if he wasn't spending the time in the studio,
Timbo,
right?
Oh, buddy. Things have gotten bad for you.
Yeah, that's.
We'll have more conversations about you. We'll have the Timbo update for you.
I'm sure friend of the pod, Timbo, is gonna put his foot in his mouth some more. But
he has been.
The takeaway, of course, is you guys be really skeptical about ChatGPT.
Yes.
And
watch out. AI, AI isn't the magic bullet you think it is. It might be helpful. Think of it as a tool, but don't think of it as a replacement.
No, that's a good call.